What's good, boys? Zach back here with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys why you don't need multiple campaigns when you are running Facebook ads. So real quick, before we get into this video, the things I'm going to be covering is my testing strategy, testing metrics you guys should be looking for, two different types of scaling I use, which is slow scaling and surf scaling, and then because it is around that time of year, Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns. All right, now that we just did a quick little overview of the video, the one thing I need you guys to stop doing is stop overcomplicating media buying. Media buying really should not be that hard, and you guys will see when I get into like my testing strategy and then how I go about everything. But the thing you guys should know is that Meta's AI is fucking insane. Like, this shit is actually crazy. Literally, Meta spends between $20 to $40 billion a year on an AI system that directly powers ads and helps us as marketers. So basically, like, what I'm saying is you thinking that you're smarter than Meta's AI is absolutely crazy. Like, you're basically saying, like, fuck you to Mark Zuckerberg and the billions of dollars that he pumps in to Facebook and their AI system to directly power ads. You're basically just flipping them off, saying, fuck you, I'm smarter than your billion-dollar AI system. But the thing is, because Meta's AI is so strong and so good, and how you no longer have to target at like the ad level anymore, literally all the targeting is done in your creatives, or aka your ad. So basically, like, when you're making your ad, that's why you want your like target avatar to be either the UGC creator or the main people who are in the ad, because then Meta will know exactly who to target that ad to. It's the same thing with the copy in your ad as well. With the copy, Meta's AI can pick up on what are the words that are being said throughout the ad, what's the text on screen. All the stuff like that will all get put through Meta's AI system and will help you directly target the person who like you actually want to target, which is like your target market. So you trying to like pick your exact target market, your age demographic, everything like that is just stupid. So now we'll kind of get into my testing strategy. So basically with my testing strategy, what I do, it's very, very simple. I do one broad CBO targeting the US only. So the reason why we want to target the US only is because like we don't want to split and we don't want to test in the big four. So like basically the big four is United States, Canada, the UK, and Australia. You don't want to be testing in all of them at the same time because we are only testing at $100 to $150 a day. So you spreading that spend between 4 different countries is just dumb, because not every single product is going to perform the same in each country. And the US is the biggest market in the world when it comes to online shopping and just buying products in general. So that's why we want to target in here, because we want to be able to scale in the US, because you want to scale in the biggest market that there is. So now that like you have the one broad CBO targeting the US only, the next thing you want to do is one ad per ad set. So I'll break this down once I hop in the ads manager, so I can basically show you guys like how to set all this up before I get into the rest of it. Like basically my whole philosophy behind this and why I do that is because like, let's say, right, you're still running the broad CBO and you have ad set 1. So you have ad set 1 over here. And then inside ad set 1, you have a bunch of different ads. So you have ad 1, you have ad 2, you have ad 3, so on and so forth. If one of these gets restricted, like especially because we're in Q4 right now, like a lot of ads get restricted because that is being super strict just because there's so many people advertising right now. So they can't really see everybody who's advertising. So they have to be super strict just to make sure like nothing bad is happening and nobody's running like cancer ads or like ads like that where like it's super like kind of like black hat and in that gray area. That's like the reason why they're super strict right now. But like back to what I was saying, like if one of these ads gets restricted, it fucks up your entire ad set, and then all of these ads stop performing as well. But if you do it like the way I teach, where you have one ad per ad set, so like you have your ad set 2, and then you're just dropping and you have ad 2 in here, and instead of having ad 3 and ad 2 in here, you literally just have ad 1 in here, and then so on and so forth. You're going to be able to make really easy like changes. Like let's say like ad 2 gets restricted, you can just turn off ad set 2 and it's not going to mess up the rest of your campaign. So that's kind of why I do it this way. But now I'll pop over here to ads manager real quick and kind of show you guys how I set all this up. So basically, obviously you're just going to want to do sales campaign. Very simple, just like that. And basically just like name your product like whatever. So like if you're running like, let's just do like weight loss sup. Just name your product weight loss sup and then the region that you're targeting in. So we're targeting in the United States, I'll just do NA. And then you're just going to keep all of this the same. And then campaign budget, like we said, $100 to $150 a day, whatever you're comfortable with. I always test with $150 a day. I just feel like with that, by day 3, it gives me all the data I need to know if I need to continue with the product or if I should cut the product. Basically, everything else on this page is just going to stay the same. Now we'll move on to the ad set level. So now that we're in the ad set level, you want to make sure that you're driving traffic just to your website, and then obviously make sure you name this fucking ad 1. Boom, in there. And then obviously like you'll select your pixel. So I'll just go in and select a random pixel real quick. Then obviously always make your conversion event to purchase, because obviously we want to drive purchases. So purchase is just a standard. Always make sure you do that. And then everything in here, leave all this the same. And then always set your ad for 12 a.m. the next morning. So boom, just do that, 12 a.m. the next morning. And then you're leaving all of this shit. You're literally not touching any. You're not touching audience because we got Advantage Plus on. So basically, like, that's just using Meta's AI to target our exact customer. So we're just going to leave that up to Meta. Obviously, make sure that you're targeting in the United States, though, but you literally don't need to touch anything else. So now we'll move over to the ad level. Now that we're in the ad level, obviously, you're just going to name this ad 1. Boom, just put it in like that. And then obviously select your page, select your Instagram, all that good stuff. And then down here, what you're just going to do, obviously, manual upload. And then we're going to turn flexible on. Make sure you always turn this off. You don't want that on. It's just going to fry your shit. And then put your first ad in here. So ad 1, the first ad that you made, put it in here. And then primary text, just write something like that. Right now, because it is Black Friday, I am always putting Black Friday in the headline. So Black Friday sale in the headline. Not doing anything with description, and then obviously like paste your URL in here. Make sure that this is like the landing page that you want them to go to. So whether like you're running a listicle, avatorial, put them to that, or if you're just running standard PDP, obviously just send them to that. Then we're also going to turn off this Advantage Plus creative optimization. Just make sure that's off. And then always have this as shop now. So we'll just turn that on real quick. Then yeah, after you did all that, you'll be good to go. You'll have your ad in here. Your primary text, headline, website URLs in here, your page is all good right there. And then everything's good on the ad set level of what we just went through. And basically what we're doing now and how we're making more ad sets in this one campaign so then we can run like the strategy that I teach is really just coming up here to the ad set level, clicking these 3 dots, quickly duplicate. So when you quickly duplicate, it will basically just save everything that you did on ad 1 so you don't have to go back through and then edit all these and like change them all again. So just do that, and then obviously just switch it to ad 2, and then you have to change nothing in here. Just leave everything in here the same. And then you change this to ad 2, and then obviously you're gonna have to come in here and then upload your second ad. So that's basically how I'm setting up my campaign in Facebook's Ads Manager. Very, very simple. Just one broad CBO targeting the United States, 1 ad per ad set. Oh yeah, and I also should put this in. I'm testing 10 to 12 ads. That's like the amount of ads that I do when I am doing a new test. And I'm spending $150 a day on ads. You can also spend like $100 a day on ads. That's fine. Whatever's comfortable for you. I just spend $150 a day just because I feel like after the 3 days of testing is over, I've got enough stats and I've got enough data to make a decision if I should cut or continue to go with the product. All right, now before we go into testing metrics, I do want to make an announcement. I have something really, really big dropping in my free Discord on Wednesday, so 3 days from now. Basically, what I'm dropping is just going to be a system that's going to help you guys if you're stuck around like 10K a month and you can't scale really past this 10K a month part. It's going to help you guys be able to go from like 10K a month to being able to go all the way up to 30K a month plus. It is literally my exact system that I've used from literally when I first started in paid ads to where I am now, basically the entire thing. So if you guys do want early access to that, make sure to join my Discord with the first link in the description. The Discord is free, by the way. So now let's get into testing metrics. So basically the only things that I'm looking for in testing metrics when I am testing is CPC, so this is cost per click, click-through rate, so CTR, add to cart percentage, and ROAS. So these are the 4 things that I am looking at in the first 3 days of testing. So basically we'll just run through these real quick. So on day 1 of testing, what you want to be seeing with CPCs is you want to be seeing $2 or under. So basically with CPCs, this is how cheap you are getting link clicks. So obviously the lower the better on this. Anything that's like above like a 3, like if you're at like a 3 or 4, actually I should probably put like 3's not terrible, like, but like if you're at like a 4 or 5 CPC day 1, just cut that shit right away, because like there's just no need to keep on spending money on that product if it's literally costing you $5 to get one person to land on your website. So if it's like above that, just cut it day one. That's like when I would make a day one cut. Now for click-through rate, I want this to be 3% or above. Basically what click-through rate is telling you the interest that people have on your product. So basically, obviously this is the click-through percentage on your ad. So it's basically telling you how interested people are actually in your product. There can be a few things that can affect this. Like this could be like completely like product. So like if like your product is just bad and nobody's clicking through, that could be a reason. Or it also could be an ad side reason where like you're not driving enough curiosity in your ad, or like the offer that you're explaining to them in the ad isn't good enough for them to actually take that next step and click the link and go to your website. So this is basically interest in your product. And then that's kind of the same thing with add to cart percentage. With add to cart percentage, you want it to be above a like 4 to 5% add to cart rate. Again, this is just interest in your product. If you're getting a lot of add to carts day one, that tells you that you have a lot of interest in your product and people actually want to buy this. Now for ROAS, on day one, we're not really looking for sales. So on day one, we're not really looking for any sales. We're just looking at these three metrics and making sure that these stats are good. So as long as our CPC is lower than $2, our click-through rate is above 3%, and our add to cart percentage is above 4 to 5%, and you're not seeing any sales on day one, that's just fine. We're still gonna let it run for the next day. So now on day two, you are looking for some improvements. For the CPC, you do wanna see it drop. So now you're looking for this to be under $1.50. You just want to see that your cost per click is dropping so that you are getting cheaper traffic as the pixel is starting to optimize to exactly who you're trying to sell to and really start to find your audience. So you're looking for this stat to improve. And then you're also looking for this stat to improve as well. You're looking for your click-through rate to go up because, again, your pixel's starting to optimize more on day two. It's starting to find your target audience and really get dialed in. And now with add to cart percentage, obviously you want to see this going up as well. If you're not seeing this going up on day two, it could be a problem with your landing page as well. Like it could be your product price, it could be your offer, things like that. Those could be things that are kind of like scaring customers away. Like if your product isn't priced properly and they're landing on the website and in their head and they click the link, they're like, yeah, I think this product's going to be right around $40, but they land on your website and you're selling it for $70. That's going to be a thing that's instantly going to like turn them off and they're just going to bounce from your website. Now for ROAS, you do want to see at least 1 to 2 sales now on day two. You still don't need to be profitable or even like break even yet. But if you are seeing like 1 to 2 sales with your add to cart percentage rising and then with all your other stats getting better as well, that's a good sign for day two. Now on day three, this is our final day of testing. Again, we want to see the stats dropping. So again, we want to see our CPCs going down. So ideally under $1 to $1.50. We want to see our click-through rate going up. So ideally 5% or above now on day three, now that our pixel's really starting to optimize and it's really starting to dial in, finding our audience that we are trying to sell to. And then with your add to cart rate, again, you want it either going up or just like getting better. So again, 5% plus for this. But now for ROAS, this is like the really important metric is now on day three, you want to be break even or at least profitable. Because now that we got all this data, if you're spending $150 a day, like I tell you to, you guys would have spent $450. And now that is enough where you can read all this data. Now you can tell if you should cut this product or if it's worth starting to scale. So now that we're B or profitable, a couple things that you can do if you're break even, you kind of want to look at these stats because like all these stats aren't going to be perfect. They're not all going to like hit this perfectly. You kind of want to go in and understand, all right, what needs to be improved? Like if my CPC is really high, like let's say you have like a $2 CPC, right? All right, we understand it's an ads issue. Now you know going forward, all right, we need to make more ads and we need to make better ads. Same thing with CTR. Are you driving enough curiosity through your ad that's actually making people want to click and take the next step and go to your website? With add to cart rate, are people actually interested in this product? Or is your offer good? Is your pricing good? Like, do people see the perceived value in your product where they're thinking in their head, yeah, I'll pay $70 for this? And then this is where you can make some adjustments. Like if it was like a pricing issue, now we can split test the price. So like maybe if your add to cart rate was super low and your COG still makes sense, we can drop it by like $5. Or if it was an offer reason, we can go do a little bit better research into our product and like see like what's like the best offer stack to run for this product, like with our COGs. Is it buy one get one free? Is it BOGO? Is it free X? Is it a volume discount? Like what's the best offer that we could be using for this product. So if you are BE, you do want to look at all these stats, make the improvements for day 4 of testing. Now, if you are profitable on day 3, how we're going to scale is kind of going to depend on what like our ROAS is looking like and like how profitable we actually are. Just for example purposes, let's say your break-even ROAS is a 1.6, right? And your ROAS that you ended off day 3 at was a 3.0. So you're really, really profitable. Basically what we're going to do is, let's say you're testing at $150. Basically what we're going to do is just do a 50% bump on our daily spend limits. I'll go more in depth in this when I do go over the scaling process. But after day 3, if you are profitable, you do need to start making some increases in your budget, and you need to start bumping budget so we can start scaling. All right, now let's go into the next thing, which is scaling. So there's 2 different types of scaling. There's slow scaling, and then there is surf scaling. So these are the 2 different styles of scaling that I use inside my ad account. So first is slow scaling. So 40 to 50% bumps, but that is only if you're spending less than 1K a day on ads. Basically, the reason why we need to be making 40 to 50% bumps in this stage is because 20 to 30% bumps really make no difference if you are at that low of spend. Because if your break-even CPA, so that is cost per acquisition, is $40, and you do a bump from $100 to $130, which is a 30% bump, you literally are doing nothing. Your break-even CPA is $40, so you have $40 to acquire a customer. So if you're only bumping by $30 more, you're not really hitting that threshold where you're actually going to be making a difference in your ad account and in the performance for the next day. But if you bump from $100 to $150 with a 50% bump, you should see 2 more sales than you did yesterday. Obviously, if the stats are good, obviously like the stats still have to be good. Your ROAS still has to be around that same point. Now, if you're spending more than 1K a day, this is where you start doing those less bumps, which is more like 20 to 30% bumps. It's going to make more of a difference because instead of just going from $100 to $130 a day, now you're going from $1,000 to $1,300 a day. So this is going to make more of a difference when you are bumping for the next day. The thing I do want to make clear though is 40 to 50% bumps are still good if your ROAS is really good. So like for the example that we we're kind of talking about earlier, if your BE is 1.6, you can do a big bump, like a 40 or 50% bump at that daily spend limit if your ROAS is above a 3. But also you guys have to keep in mind like ROAS is very product dependent. So like if your break-even ROAS is like a 1.2 to 1.3, doing these like 40 to 50% bumps, spending more than $1,000 a day is also fine for like a 2.6 or a 2.7 ROAS if your break-even ROAS is less at like a 1.2 or 1.3 versus being at a 1.6. Always make sure when you guys are making bumps and you guys are making ad account increases, be smart, read your stats, read the data. The data will never lie to you. If you have really good stats, like a really good ROAS, CPCs are low, go ahead and make that bump. All right, now we'll get into the next thing, which is surf scaling. So surf scaling is a lot more aggressive than like the slow scaling, bumping by like 20, 30% or 40 to 50%. With surf scaling, what we are doing is doubling budget every 2 hours. So like this is kind of how it would look, right? If you started at $150 a day in spend, you'd be bumping to $300 a day. And then obviously if stats stay good, you're bumping again, doubling the budget again to $600, bumping the budget again, $1,200, so on, so forth. I do want to preface this that when you do surf scale and you are aggressively scaling like this, your stats will slowly go down like as you start to surf. This is why if you're going into a day and like you want to surf, you have to have a 3 ROAS if you're going to surf that day. Just because stats are going to start going down, and like when you start scaling like really aggressively like this, Meta has to find you more customers. So obviously it's going to have to spend more money, and you're not really going to be getting those low-hanging fruits anymore that are around like that $150 a day mark. You're starting to get to more scale, and Meta's really starting to like reach out and try to find more people that would actually be interested in your product. Also, I do want to preface this as well. You should at least have 2 ads that are bringing in sales in your ad account if you are trying to surf. You don't want to just surf on 1 ad because you are going to burn it out. Because the thing I always say, act like your winning ad is going to die tomorrow. So basically like the lifespan of like an ad, right? If this is the money it's bringing in and then this is its time horizon, most ads will be like this. Like they'll start scaling, they'll kind of plateau for a little bit, and then they'll start to fall off, right? And if you're surfing super hard on just one ad and you're pushing all the spend to literally just one ad, you're fatiguing it really hard and you're really pushing it. So if all the ad spend's just going to one ad, you're going to make this process go a lot quicker. And then you're going to end up killing that ad a lot faster because you don't have multiple ads scaling up in your ad account right now. This is where you need kind of like the multiple ads so that you're not really like pushing ad fatigue on one single ad and killing the ad, because you don't want to get to a point where like you start to decline on your winning ad that you have and you don't have any other ads that are performing for you and your ad is just falling and you slowly see like your ROAS dropping. You started, maybe you're at like a 3.0 and you're at its peak up here and now you're slowly falling. You fell now to like a 2.0. You're still profitable, but you're a lot less profitable than you were, and you keep on falling. And now you're at like a 0.8 ROAS and you're super unprofitable and you're like, fuck, now I just got to kill the product. Always make sure like with this, like this kind of goes like past this too, like as you're scaling as well, you always want to have more ads coming in, kind of taking its spot. So every single time an ad dies out, you have another one meeting it right at its downfall. Now I'll kind of show you guys like how to like monitor your surf just so you don't cook yourself, because like in this, like stuff can go wrong and it can go really south fast, because when you're pushing this much spend, if you're not monitoring and really sitting at your computer all day watching and monitoring your metrics, you can get in a bad position where maybe like you make this next bump from 300 to 600 and you literally aren't getting any sales, but your ad account is still spending like crazy. That's not really a position you want to be in. So you really want to be monitoring. So basically how we're going to do this is like, if stats start to tank, right, I need you guys to descale from where you were before. So let's say, right, you made that bump from 300 to 600 and your stats just absolutely start to tank. You're not getting any sales. Your ROAS is just declining rapidly. What you need to do is just do a descale back to where you were before and then just let it spend out for the rest of the day. Now, if your stats are kind of starting to just like plateau, like they're not tanking, like your ROAS is dropping like really fast, but like maybe like we're at like a 3 ROAS to start the day and you made a couple bumps, now you're up to $600 in spend, and now you're kind of plateauing between like a 2.2 to like a 2.0 ROAS. Basically, what you're going to do is just keep it on $600 and just let it spend out and just ride it out throughout the rest of the day. And then obviously, if the stats are staying the same or even getting better, because sometimes that can happen where as you do increase ad spend, ROAS will increase. So if it does that, just keep on bumping budget like I talked about up here. Just keep on increasing every single 2 hours until you run into a spot where you start to plateau. Now, this is super important, and this is the last step into surf scaling. What do I do at the end of the day, right? So let's say you scaled up to $1,200 daily spend, but only spent $400 of it. Basically, what that means is if you only spend $400 on the day, $400 is gonna be your new daily ad budget. And this is super important. Do not forget to switch it back. You don't want to start the next day spending $1,200 on ads, because your pixel isn't optimized to be spending that much money. It's optimized to be spending this much because this is how much it spent yesterday while being profitable and having good stats. So this is super important. Do not forget to switch it back. All right, now let's get into the last thing I kind of want to cover in this video, because it is right around that time. Like Black Friday is literally 2 weeks away. So like you guys should already have your Black Friday, Cyber Monday camps up. But if you don't have it up already, I'll kind of show you how to set it up. So basically what we're doing is it's the same thing as a testing camp. So it's just CBO, broad targeting, United States only, and we are setting this up at $150 a day. Now, what are we putting in it? What we're putting in it is Black Friday static, so these are image ads. And then we're also putting in our best performing video ads that was in our CBO testing campaign that hopefully like we have scaled up by now. The only thing that we were doing on that is just putting a Black Friday banner on it. So basically you're just taking like your ad, if your ad was just normal like this, right? Basically what you're just doing up here is you're literally just putting Black Friday, Black Friday sale. And literally that's just going to be the banner at the top of your ad. And then very important to note, scale the absolute fuck out of this, because people are looking for deals. They're looking for Black Friday deals. So this campaign will perform very well. So just make sure that you are pumping in like new static Black Friday ads, and then take any new winners that you do get from your testing CBO and put them with a banner, a Black Friday banner, and then put them into this campaign as well, and then just scale the absolute fuck out of it. So yeah, boys, that's basically my full breakdown of how I do media buying and how I set up my testing campaign, how I go about scaling, what the testing metrics I'm looking for, and then how we're also setting up our Black Friday campaigns. So very, very big thing, like from the beginning of the video, you do not need multiple campaigns. Like, you don't need to set up a new campaign every single time you're about to launch new ads. I know some people do it that way, but you just don't need to do it. You're overcomplicating it, and you're also just burning money if you're doing that as well, because if you're making a new campaign, right, and you're about to launch some more ads, and then you want to spend like $50, $100 a day on those new ads that you just made, if the batch of 10 that you just made were all trash, you literally just burnt all that money. When if you just put it into your CBO and it's trash, it's just not going to get spent. But if it's good, it's going to start to take up spend in that campaign, and it's going to start performing, and you guys will see that. So like I mentioned in the start of the video, I do have something very big dropping this Wednesday. It's going to help you guys who are stuck at like that 10K a month finally be able to break past 10K a month and finally be able to scale to like 30K months and even higher. So if you guys do want early access to that, make sure you guys join my free Discord. It will be the first link in the description. So yeah, boys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something. I make media buying very, very simple. So if media buying and running ads kind of confuses you, just use this strategy that I showed you today. And trust me, it's going to get a lot easier. So again, boys, thank you so much for watching the video. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.